Now, earlier on in the week, I went on a live stream with my good mates FPL Tom and FPL Fran, and I won't lie to you, it's completely changed the way I see and want to play this game now. So I thought I'd update you all on my draft. All right, before I get into the team itself, I just wanted to advertise the Golden Goal Mini League once again. I'll leave a link to sign up in the description below, and you can see the league code there. The winner, this is a worldwide game, so providing that I can actually send it to you, the UK allows me and your customs allows me to post it to you, the winner of the Mini League will get a Golden Goal mug and a packet of biscuits of your choice. So join up to the Golden Goal Mini League, and that could be your prize if you were to win. All right. One thing that really stood out to me when I went on the stream this week, and I've warmed to the idea of really trying to nail down, well, get more into this rule as we go along with the players that I pick, it's this scouting bonus. So if your player scores more than 4 points in a game and is in fewer than 5% of all teams, you get 2 points. And I think, I'll look at my defense now. I think with defenders in particular, this rule is potentially a game changer, right? Because defenders, they score points for clean sheets together, right? So unless you've got, and you can see here, I've got two exceptionally attacking defenders in my defense, I think, who are going to do well, regardless of this bonus points, in Dumfries and Guardiola, right? So they're in my team. But outside of that, what I've done is I've picked players from defenses I believe are going to be strong, but there are other defenders from those teams with higher ownership, which means these people, at least for the time being, that might change after this video. Be interesting to see how much content actually influences percent ownership in this game. But what I've done is pick defenders from teams I think are going to keep clean sheets and do well, but they're less than 5% owned. So my prime, well, I'll talk through a couple now. So one example of those defenders is Svensson of Dortmund. Now, it looks like Ryerson is by far and away the most popular Dortmund defender. And if you look at the numbers they both put up respectively this season, you might make an argument that Ryerson is slightly better. But I think that's somewhat offset by the fact that Svensson, at least at the time of recording this video, is below 5% ownership. So every time Dortmund keep a clean sheet, which I think they got a good chance of doing in their group, Svensson will score an extra 2 points on top of Ryerson, which I think it negates, the slight upside I think Ryerson has from an attacking perspective. And even then, this guy's on corners, and I don't think Ryerson takes them. There isn't a whole lot between them in terms of numbers. So my first defender is an example. Well, this guy is an example of that, where I want to pick defenders from teams that I think are going to do well, but are lower owned. I'll just go back to my defense a second. I've gone for Di Gregorio of Juventus and Lloyd Kelly. Lloyd Kelly, I think, will remain under 5% owned until the start of the game. At least I'm hoping so, because I think there are better Juventus defenders who will probably score more points than him. But he's going to get the 2 bonus when I think they're going to keep some clean sheets in their group, especially in their first couple of games. Di Gregorio is hovering at 4.8, 4.9% ownership at the moment, so he's dangerously close to that 5% mark. So he's my goalkeeper at the moment, but I'm definitely not suggesting this is absolutely locked in yet. Another defender, and I'm probably going to ruin him, and I'm going to take credit. Give credit to FPL Bartowski for tweeting this. It's already got 10,000 views on Twitter, so I'm not sure he will be less than 5% owned come the start of the game. But Alex Tellez, the former Man United left-back, took and scored a penalty for Botafogo, the Brazilian team, and they've got Seattle Sounders in match day 1. So we've got a defender in the game, less than 5% owned. He's 5.1 million, who takes penalties. And I think if you remember his time, I think he played, was it for Porto before he joined Man United? I can't remember exactly, but he was extremely attacking for whoever he played for before Man United. So I think he comes with a lot of attacking upside. So my defense then, I've picked 2 defenders who I think are just absolutely exceptional in Dumfries and Guardiola. Although, obviously, into managerial stuff going on, that could change how Dumfries lines up. But I just think regardless of whatever team Dumfries is in, he's always going to be used from an attacking perspective, just with how good he is. Whenever I see him play for the Netherlands, he always seems to be scoring goals, getting assists for them, and the same applies for Inter Milan. So I think he's going to be super attacking. Man City have just signed Aït-Nouri. Well, I don't think it's confirmed. It's been here we go by Romano, but not officially announced by the club yet. Whether Aït-Nouri signing for Man City changes things for Guardiola, I guess that's the That's the question. Does he revert to playing more of a centre-back? As time goes on, we've still got a week to go-ish until the tournament starts. So if all that sort of comes to light and we get more information, then I might change Guardiola. But for the time being, it looks like he's going to play that inverted left-back position. And I just think there's quite the gulf between Man City and the other opposition in their group. I just think, especially like a team that defends deep, which you'd imagine most teams are going to do when they play Man City, the way that you kind of beat a low block is having inverted fullbacks, much like Guardiola plays. So I think that's really going to help, and he's going to do really well. So yeah, I think that summarises my defence basically. I've tried to keep it below 5% owned with some good picks alongside Dumfries and Guardiola, who I think are the two best. Right, on to the midfield then, and there's one change to it, to be honest, from where I was at before with my draft, but I've gone for, I'm going to try and pronounce it, is it De Arrascaeta of Flamengo? I had Julian Brand in there before, right, and then I just compared the numbers of the two players, and this guy just tore Brandt to shreds in terms of the numbers that he put up as well. He's got a good fixture first game out, and yeah, I just think he's a great option. 26 games, 12 goals, 6 assists for his club this season, Flamengo. And yeah, I think he looks great and probably better than Julian Brand for a very, well, he's actually cheaper, 0.1 million cheaper, I think. And also this guy takes penalty, well, he should be the penalty taker for Flamengo. So that's one of the major changes that I've made. Just looking back to that midfield, I've already spoken through it previously. I think Enzo Fernandez is going to play in quite an advanced position for Chelsea. So that should hopefully mean some attacking returns. And I also think he could knock up a couple of points for that tackles bonus. And I think Chelsea are going to keep clean sheets as well, so there's a point in there for that. Now, Mastantuono, the River Plate wonder kid, there's a little bit of worrying news about him. So he looks like he's gone to Real Madrid, certainly looks like he's signed for Real Madrid. And, well, Marca, I believe, is the leading Spanish football newspaper, if I'm not mistaken, and Madrid Zone. I've got a retweet here from Madrid Zone on X. So it looks like Real Madrid have found a way to register him as a player before he turns 18. As I understand it, there are some FIFA regulations that stop a player under the age of 18 making a move like this. I don't know the full detail, but there was certainly some red tape in the way of the move. But it looks like they've found a way around it, basically, and he could play in the tournament, which is obviously a worry because this guy is by far and away the best cheap midfielder in the game, right? And he's still in my team at the time being because I don't think any of this has been like actually made official. So I've kept him in my team for the time being and waiting until it is. But there is an alternative, and I mentioned this at the start and in my cheap players video as well. You got Mastantuono at 4.1. Well, no, he's 4.3, isn't he? Then you got Rodrigo Moura of Porto, who played 37 games for Porto this season, scored 11 goals and got 4 assists. Didn't quite reach the heights of Mastantuono. Doesn't take penalties and free kicks like he does. But he's still, I think, going to play some decent minutes for Porto. He's still put up some decent numbers this season. Particularly, I think, his role in the team and he just got better as the season went on, basically. So I'd imagine he's probably going to get some good minutes for Porto. So if you need, and much like I might, if you need an alternative for Mastantuono, you could go for, I don't know, I'm clicking there, Rodrigo Moura. Rest of my midfield, well, I went for Michael Elise. I did a little comparison of Bayern Munich midfielders in my last video because I haven't really followed German football that much. And I've pulled up all of the players' numbers from this season. And Elise is just head and shoulders above the rest of the Bayern team. He played way more games, scored more goals than anyone, got more assists than anyone. He is just the number one Bayern Munich midfielder. And the only worry I have in this team is I've only got a couple of Bayern Munich players. So you might see Guerrero come in there, Rafael Guerrero, the Bayern fullback, come in to maybe replace one of my defenders to target Auckland City. Because I just think that Bayern v Auckland City there's such a gulf between those two teams. I'm a little bit worried not being tripled up on Bayern Munich, to be completely honest with you. But yeah, Elise is the best Bayern midfielder, so I've gone for him. And Cole Palmer, I think Chelsea have got a really good group. Yes, he didn't have the best end to the season in the Premier League, but he's Cole Palmer, right? We saw what he did for England in the Euros. He can really get up for it as well. Not that that's really much to go on, but you know what I mean. He's a good tournament player. And I think a little bit of a rest that he's had over the summer, well, short summer that he's had, or short break. I'd imagine he's had a break. And he's going to come back, and his opposition, I think, will be a little bit easier than what he's been experiencing in the Premier League. He's obviously the penalty taker for Chelsea as well, and on free kicks, I believe. Or most of the free kicks anyway. But yeah, I'm backing Cole Palmer, and I think he's going to do just fine. All right, up front, I've gone for Kane, Haaland, and Aguilar. Now, this guy is just 4.2 million. Scored 25 goals for Porto this season. There is a little bit of a well, by the way, his nickname on some websites, I don't really quite know how he likes to be named because I'm not too au fait with Porto. His nickname is Samu. So on some websites, if you want to check out his stats, he's known as that in some cases. He's 4.2 million, scored 25 goals for Porto this season. I've gone for Haaland and Kane as my 2 starting strikers. And then I've gone for Mbappe as my 12th man. I've gone for Mbappe as my 12th man because I just think the 12th man is best used on a player that you can't afford to get in your team because you have unlimited budget to spend, right? And I don't have enough money, you know, to have Aguihawa alongside Mbappe. I just feel like you want to use the 12th man chip on a really expensive player to absolutely max. Well, not just to spend the money for the sake of it, but you know what I mean? I could have fit Mbappe into my team and then it would have meant downgrading someone else. But instead of that, why not just use the 12th man to get him in? So that was kind of my logic there, basically. Captaincy doesn't really mean anything. This is just showing you my team. I'll go for the best captain on each day, which is, for the first day, is obviously Harry Kane, who should be, on paper, the best captain. Should be the best captain for the first match day. He plays, you know, this the greatest gulf between 2 teams, between Bayern and Auckland in match day 1. So Harry Kane should be the best captain. And with that in mind as well, that's why I've not played the max captainship in match day 1. Because, well, I just think that's such... For me, that's the clearest on-paper captaincy decision. So why not use it when a week where it's not so clear, which I think could possibly be next week. So, yeah, I've gone for Kane and Mbappe as my 12th man. All right, well, that's the end of the video. I hope you found it useful. If you did, please leave me a like rating. Let me know in the comments if there's any changes I need to make to this team. I keep banging on about how Bayern Munich v Auckland is the biggest gulf between 2 teams in the tournament. And right now I've only got 2 Bayern Munich players. So you may well see maybe a Bayern Munich defender move his way into my team towards the tournament starting. But I think we're pretty close now. You know, there might be 1 or 2 changes to this team. I think you could probably guess the changes I might make to this team should we get any news leading into the tournament. But yeah, I think we're pretty close now. So if you enjoyed the video, please leave me a like rating. Subscribe to the Golden Goal channel, which should be just here on your screen if you want to see more Club World Cup content from me. And yeah, that's it. Thank you very much for watching. I'll catch you in my next video.